Hey guys, this is SansCorpsTarot, and today I am back again with another pick a card reading for you. And today it's going to be all about why you choose your future spouse. So I say future spouse, but this could also be a life partner if you don't believe in marriage or anything. But basically just the person that you'll spend like a true big chunk of your life with, your true love in a sense. And so today we're going to be looking at why you choose them. And so we're going to take a look at the people you've encountered in the past in your relationships and to sort of get an idea of what sets this person apart. And then we're going to be looking at, how you feel about this person when you first meet them, and then how you feel about this person after you've been in a relationship with them for a little bit. So basically why you choose them, but why you choose them in the beginning, but then also why you continue to choose them and continue to stand by them and spend your life with them. And so we have 3 groups for you to choose from today. These are all different like art painting cards. And so this is group 1, this is group 2, and this is group 3. So take your time choosing your groups. Meditate on the energy that you believe your future spouse will have, and then go to whichever group you think has that same energy, whichever picture you think aligns with that energy. And I'll see you guys there. But before you guys go, if some of you wanted to know why, I haven't been posting so much content recently, it's because my family moved houses and I had to help my parents move out of, me and my siblings' childhood home. And it had a lot of our junk in it, so that took a while. And then soon afterwards, I moved into my new place. So, and I'm in the process still of moving in, and it's a mess over there, so I'm back in my parents' place right now, and my setup's going to be a little wonky, a little varied for the next week or two, so I appreciate your patience with that. And I'm also starting a graduate program, and so that just sort of all happened in the end of August, beginning of September, and so it's just a little bit of a chaotic time for me right now, and probably for a lot of you guys too. But yeah, so thanks for bearing with me and, not being impatient for me to post new content, so thank you guys very much. But yeah, I just wanted to give that little disclaimer for any of you who may or may not have been interested. But so yeah, I'll see you guys in your readings now. Bye. Hey Pile 1, if you guys chose this little painting, this will be your pile all about why you chose your future spouse. So first, this little painting, I believe this is a white rose, and it a little bit reminds me of like an acid wash rose. It's very artistic seeming, and I know that's kind of funny to say because like all of these little paintings that we chose from were pieces of art, but this one seems a little more artistic than the other groups. So I think that your future spouse is probably going to be someone fairly artistic in some way. Maybe not even just strictly like artistic, but maybe just like artsy. A little bit maybe of like a hipster is coming out. Maybe they actually wear like acid wash jeans or something. But yeah, I think that they're a mix between mysterious and also sort of like blatantly obvious. By that I mean, I think that you get sort of like a good sense of their personality, or a good sense of parts of their personality or parts of their character from just sort of looking at them. So maybe you see them and they do like wear acid wash jeans, or they wear like funky hat, or like cool earrings, or like they have piercings or tattoos, but I think that there's still like an air of mystery around them. I think that maybe they're probably not one to just openly talk a lot to random people. Maybe they don't offer a lot of their own information. Maybe they're a little bit more reserved or timid when they first meet someone. But I think that, yeah, you're able to, from just sort of initially seeing them, I think that you're able to get a little bit of a good grasp on them. And I think that even like their mysteriousness will be a little obvious to you, and you don't really know what that mystery is that they're sort of hiding behind, because they are reserved in some way. But I think that they yeah, it's like you're able to read their energy upon seeing them. You're able to see them as someone maybe artsy, maybe a little edgy, maybe a little quirky or out there in some ways. But also you're able to sort of notice that they seem a little artsy and out there, but you can tell that how they directly interact with the world is not so outgoing and not so extroverted. They are a little bit more reserved. So there's just like an interesting dichotomy of energy that they have when you first see them. And I think that it's going to continue probably, that's just sort of who they are as a person. I think they're a very dichotomous person. They have different parts to them that may seem contradictory. You know, maybe they wear all black, or they dress super edgy or artsy. Maybe they maybe they are like dressed kind of like punk rock or something with like metal chains and stuff, but they're still, if like a stranger goes up and asks for them, they'll be like, or talks to them about something, they'll be like a little soft spoken. They'll try to divert their gaze, their eye contact. They'll try to, maybe brush off the interaction and shut it down quickly. They're not such an outgoing, intense person as their outward appearance would seem. They're not really in your face, even if some of their appearance may be in your face. Okay, that took a little bit for me to explain, but I'm just like starting to tap into their energy, and so I guess it just sort of, I was processing that along with you guys out loud. But alright, we're going to just jump right into it. So we're going to look at your past relationships. What are your past relationships like? Well, actually before that, I think maybe before we jump into your past relationships, I actually want to get some oracle cards about, this relationship with this person. I think that that'll give us a nice context of your relationship and the rest of the sort of prompts that we're going over. Why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? Why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? I don't think you choose them because of this like air of mystery or anything that they have, but I think that it could definitely draw you in. I think that their dichotomous aspect sort of draws you in. I think that their appearance also really could do it. Let's see, why pile 1 chooses their future spouse. Vervain everlasting, that's beautiful. It says spellbound, soul alignment, release, protection. Oh, okay, so I'm getting, right off the bat, you are sort of mesmerized by their appearance. I think you really are drawn in by whatever like artsy, out of the box thing they have going on about their appearance. I think that you're really into it, and so that's just sort of, that's where I'm getting spellbound from. You're spellbound from their initial appearance. But then soul alignment, I think that you're in awe of their appearance. I think that there's something that sort of sticks out around them. Maybe it's not even one set accessory that they wear or anything, but maybe it's just sort of the way they compile their outfits, maybe the way they match their colors. Maybe they wear like patterns on different patterns, or they wear colors that really look good together or really don't look good together. There's just something about their appearance that makes people sort of notice them, and I think that it makes you notice them as well. But then I think that sort of quickly after you notice them, it is sort of like a bell goes off in your mind, but also like your soul, because it says soul alignment. So I think that you notice them for their appearance, but then I think you continue to notice them because you do feel a sort of unspoken resonance with them. It says release and protection. I think that you feel very protected by this person. I feel you feel very safe in their energy. I think that there's the vibe of they're very protective of themselves and their energy, because they do have that air of mystery about them. I think that they recognize that people see them and they're intrigued by their appearance, and I think that sort of causes them to be even a little bit more strict about who they let in, because they know that a lot of people are just sort of intrigued by them because of their appearance, and so they say, okay, well, now we need to be like extra strict about who we let in, because I know that a lot of people are just going to be interested in me because of how I look. And so I think that they're very protective of themselves. And then I think once you guys sort of come into alignment, into union with each other, I think that they're going to extend that protection to you. You're going to become sort of like an extension of themselves that they need to protect, you know? They're not going to want to let many people in on your business. They're not going to want to update people. Even when they're like proud of your accomplishments, I think that they're going to be very reticent to telling people and bragging about those accomplishments, just because they're reticent about doing that for themselves as well. You know, there's an energy of they just simply don't want to give people the opportunity to cast judgments, to send bad vibes, to, you know, become involved in their life when these people, you know, in this person's eyes, don't really deserve to be involved in their life in that way. And so they're going to extend this to you. They're going to, you know, they're going to tell people, they'll tell close, trusted friends and everyone about you. They'll gush about you, but I think that they're going to be very reserved when it comes to just sort of like everyday acquaintances. They're not going to really want to talk a lot about you or a lot about themselves or a lot about your relationship, because they're really going to want to highly protect it from other people's energies. Oh, that's beautiful. Should we get one more? Yeah, let's get one more from a different deck though. So why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? Why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? Yeah, there's just it's so interesting, because I really do feel like so much of your connection to this person is like sort of unspoken and fairly immediate. I feel like you guys sort of recognize each other as mirrored souls fairly quickly. I think that, and so I think that honestly they feel fairly protective over you pretty suddenly. This is giving me the vibe of like Edward and Bella. You know how they like took a little bit for them to like actually get to know each other, and like talk to each other. They were both fairly reserved and a little mysterious in their own ways, but Edward was like super protective over Bella and like saved her life from that car like immediately, you know? And he had a very protective energy over her despite not really knowing her, and despite almost like fighting off his feelings for her. And I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a similar vibe to this person. You know, Edward was toxic in some ways, and I don't think that this person is going to be, you know, toxic in those ways. But I think that this person is going to, yeah, they're going to a little bit also sort of fight off their feelings for you. Or I feel like they're just sort of not really used to having strong feelings for people, and wanting to protect people in the same way that they protect themselves. They're not really used to that. They're not used to feeling like their soul is aligned with another person. I think that they do feel fairly different from those around them. And so when they meet you, they're going to, it really does feel like it's sort of like a radio frequency that you guys just both sort of match in each other. And no one else matches that radio frequency around you guys. But so when the second you guys are like within each other's frequency range, it just sort of like sparks like an immediate bond between you guys, and it does feel very unspoken. But why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? Why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? Those were many cards, only one please. Why does pile 1 choose their future spouse? Perception. Yeah, ooh, sorry, mad glare. Okay. Ooh, so much glare. Sorry guys. Perception though. Okay, so I think that you guys, once again, what I'm being drawn to, I'm saying once again because this has happened before in readings, is, you know, the colors here, the sort of the vervain everlasting colors of like the purple and blue in this hand and this flower. This is giving me the energy of like this sacredness, the magicness of this connection. And then it's just sort of amplified. Those colors are amplified in this card. So it's almost feeling like it's taking the most important, most intense part and energy of this card and zooming in on it and just sort of engulfing itself in that. So eyeball, perception, I think that why you choose this person, there's like, not to be corny or anything, but there's just no one else like this person, and there's no one else like you. And so there's just really not many people, not anyone that you guys, either of you have met that sort of matches each other the way that you guys do. I think that there is very much, perception is interesting because it's both like physically, visually obvious, you know, if you're perceiving something, you know, it can be in your visual field, but also perception can talk about something that's sort of subconscious and implicit and something you can't see. So it could be that you're perceiving an energy. And I think that that's what it is, you know, you see them and you recognize them. But then like what you recognize sort of when you make eye contact with them for the first time is sort of that underlying energetic bond that connects you guys. I think that you really do. This is highly magic, highly spiritual, this connection. It is, very little is spoken, I feel like. I feel like you guys may not even have spoken that many words to each other before you realize you're in love with them, or before you realize that you just sort of are deeply connected to them. This is giving me the energy of a connection where you sort of, you meet this person, maybe you guys don't say many words to each other. Sorry, my refrigerator is making ice. But you see each other, you don't say many words to each other, but you immediately feel an intense bond to them, and you may not even really understand what that bond is. You may not understand that it's basically like burgeoning love from a deep spiritual resonance. But I think all you know is that you're intensely connected to them, and it's a little bit intense, maybe a little bit frightening, because once again, they are not really at all someone that you've ever encountered before. They're very, very different from anyone that you've met before, and so are you for them. But I think that you guys really recognize the individuality in each other and sort of the sacredness of that uniqueness in each other is what bonds you guys, or what brings you guys together initially, and then sort of once you validate that unique bond that you have with each other, that same bond is what continues to keep you guys together. So it's like you have that initial spark of seeing them and being instantly connected to them and not knowing why, and then over time, gradually, your energetic field and their energetic field just sort of like mesh together, and you realize, oh, okay, I was so drawn to them because we're cut from the same cloth, or we have like basically the same soul, we're meant to be together, basically. I wanted to say soulmates, but I also wanted to say twin flames. And so twin flames is the concept of one soul sort of splitting in two, and then those people sort of are, you know, those two people are basically, they're made from the same energy. And that's the vibe that this pile is giving me. I feel like you guys really are like two sides of the same coin. And not even necessarily two sides. I feel like you guys may be like this two sides of like a same-sided coin, you know? Like not heads or tails, but maybe a coin that's heads and heads on either side. You guys are very, very similar to each other. Okay, let's get into the meat of it now, though. So let's get into your past relationships. So pile one's past relationships. So I just wanted to get a look on this because our relationship past really does inform our relationship future. And so your past relationships definitely do and or will play a part in choosing your future spouse. So what are pile one's past relationships like? Let's get a card for that. So we have 3 of coins. Ooh, you guys. Okay, so I think in the past you guys have been with people that you had hoped to grow with. The 3 of coins is an interesting energy because, you know, it's a 3 card, so it speaks about the possibility of third parties. It does, if I'm being completely honest, but it's also like a fairly peaceful card. And so it feels like probably in your relationship past, I think that you were probably hoping for a lot more from your relationships than actually than what you were given at any point. I think that also, you know, there could have been the possibility of you having been cheated on, but I think for the most part, it's that the people you were with or the people that you wanted to be with, it feels like you just couldn't really get that third coin, whatever third coin you wanted. So maybe you would see people and you wanted it to develop into a relationship and it never would, or maybe you would date people and you wanted, you know, to reach those next steps, move in together, but it feels like, you know, that the people you were with sort of chose a different third pentacle instead of the one you wanted. You wanted a third pentacle that would bring you guys together. You wanted, you know, to develop things. You wanted to, you know, grow your relationships and everything together. And it feels like, you know, maybe these other people, they chose other relationships, or they chose, you know, they got their dream job, and so they decided to move away and break things off with you instead of, you know, declining that dream job and staying here with you. It feels like just sort of life paths were just sort of like diverging, you know. It felt like you guys were at a crossroads and you wanted to go one way in your relationships, and these people just continuously wanted to go other ways. We also had 9 of Swords, yeah, so I think that it made you really in your head about things. I think it caused you a lot of anxiety. And I don't know, so it's a lot of, you know, they're here by themselves. I'm not getting a lot of like outright nasty, bad energy from this, you know? I'm just getting a lot of heartbreak and tumultuous times. And heartbreak because of things just not going your way. Not heartbreak because someone, you know, was malicious and wanted to break your heart, but heartbreak because, yeah, there's the relationship, the things didn't develop the way that you wanted to. I'm really getting that for most of you probably weren't cheated on or something like that, but I think that, yeah, the people you were with chose other things instead of you. Let's see, why pile 1 choose their future spouse, their relationship past. Let's get another card for it. I think that it made you just sort of feel very anxious about ever finding someone that would want the same things as you. And then we got the Emperor. Yeah, so I think that you guys were trying to sort of control things that weren't meant to be controlled. I think that you were trying to control these relationships. You wanted to, you know, you had this predetermined outcome in your mind once you met these people that you wanted. And I think that just there's some sort of disconnect. It feels like you were trying to control people, and there's just the vibe that like the people you were with, you were different from them. And so I think that just sort of like your natural controlling tendencies just weren't aligned with theirs. It feels like you wanted to control this relationship. You wanted to know where it was going. You wanted to, even like regardless of how much you liked this person, I feel like you just really, you know, maybe you were anxious about never really finding love, and so whenever you did meet someone, you were sort of very quick to want to ground it. But it felt like you basically were trying to guide the people that you were in relationships with or wanted to be in relationships with, and they didn't really understand that. They didn't really allow themselves to be controlled and guided in the way that you wanted. And so when they ended up choosing something, you were very heartbroken from it when they ended up choosing something else. So I think for a lot of you guys, yeah, it could be something like, you know, this person just, maybe even they just chose a career, or they decided that they wanted to invest more into their career, and so they told you like, I'm sorry, I just don't have time for a relationship because I want to you know, really kickstart my career. And maybe this is a career that you had been like pushing them to do, and you were like, I know it makes you so happy, and this is your dream, I think that you should do it, and you should try and go out for it, and, you know, balls to the walls and make it happen for you. And I think that they sort of took that, you know, hyping up, and they were like, okay, yeah, so I think I really should. This really is my dream. Thanks, Pile 1. You're so nice and sweet, and you must really care about me. And I'm sorry I gotta break up with you now, but, you know, it's to chase my dream, just like you told me to. Doesn't that make you happy? And you're like, actually, that's not at all, like, what I was meaning. That's not at all what I wanted. I wanted you to chase your dreams, but I also wanted you to, like, ask me to move in with you, you know? It's like, I think that there were just, yeah, a lot of disconnects in these relationships that you had, you know? You would, you weren't expecting it, I think, when they broke up with you, when things sort of went awry. Maybe it was that, maybe you're dating people and you started venting to this person about how important it is to only, to really take your time dating people and to only, date people you're really interested in. And this person, it was like, yeah, you're actually right. And because of that, I'm going to start dating other people, not just you, because you're so right. And then you're like, oh my God, that's not at all what I meant. I meant that I was just so serious about you. And I did not mean for my statement about like the importance of really carefully thinking about who you're dating. I did not mean for that to inspire you to go out and date other people and eventually drop me, but that's what happened. And I think that it just left you feeling really defeated. Yeah, I think that just overall, the relationships just did not work out the way that you wanted it to. Surprise, surprise. But I mean, I think that they didn't work out in a way that was sort of a little very much personally upsetting, in a way that it like offended you. I feel like it offended you because you were so not expecting it, and you were so like, I do feel like for a lot of you guys, it could have been something like your kind-hearted rants sort of inspired this person to go on a path that took them away from you, and you were like, oh my God, I didn't want that to happen. But it's what happened a lot of the times. But okay, so those were your past relationships. So now let's get a vibe for the beginning of this relationship with this person. So, or like when you first meet this person, what they're like. When you first meet this person, we're gonna bring these over here. We'll put it like this. And so, what's that energy when pile 1 first meets their future spouse? What do they think of them? Why are they drawn? Why are they drawn in? Why do they think of them? Why do they choose them when they first meet their future spouse? We have the 2 of Cups. So yeah, that's so funny because again, I feel like you guys do sort of I feel like both of you probably keep people at arm's length at first. I feel like maybe you are a little bit quicker to warm up to people than your future spouse is, but I feel like once again, when you guys meet each other, when you guys first come into each other's energetic fields, this is how it's going to feel. You guys are just going to feel like you're giving each other an energetic embrace. You aren't going to give each other a physical real embrace. You guys may not even like say that many words to each other, but I think that there's just such a deep like unspoken comfort in each other's presences. It's kind of insane. There is just the amount of like unspoken energy in this pile is really incredible. It's like I'm eager to see like the cards that come out for, why you choose this person after you really know them and are in a relationship with them, because I'm really not getting a lot about like your guys' personality or like what relates to you guys. I'm getting mostly like this is just such a deeply spiritual, soul resonating connection that it's easy for you guys to come together almost. Like that's what brings you guys together, and that's what sort of hooks you guys onto each other. But okay, when pile 1 first meets their future spouse, why do they choose them? I think that you feel resonance with them that you don't feel with many other people. I think that you feel safe with them in a way that you haven't with other people, and I don't even think that you'd really understand why, because I don't think that this person, your future spouse, gives off like the warmest of presences. I think that you would definitely see them as a caring, nurturing, protective person, but I think that that's after you get to know them. I think that their outward appearance could be a little colder, just because they are fairly reserved and they do keep people at arm's length. But I feel like there's just such like sort of an immediate attachment that they have to you, an immediate warmth that they have towards you. And I don't think it's an obvious warmth, but I think that it's a warmth that you feel. And I think that, maybe these people that you were in a relationships in the past, I think that they could have been fairly outgoing in a way. I think that you may be a little bit more you probably, just like your future spouse, I think that you could be a little bit more of a soft-spoken person, potentially. Or just maybe not even an outgoing person, but take what resonates. Or like just not an explicitly outgoing person, but I think that your future spouse is going to be different from the people that you've dated in the past. I think that they're just how they conduct themselves around other people is going to be very different from the people that you've been with in the past. I feel like the people that you've been with in the past, at least, have been fairly outgoing. They've been fairly assertive. They've been fairly outspoken, and this person is not really going to be that way immediately. And I think that sort of that difference, but I think that you're sort of going to recognize it as a genuineness, you know? You're going to recognize it as them being just very thoughtful, of them being very careful about what to say, and them being very protective over themselves. I think that you're going to see them as someone very important and very sacred because of how they conduct themselves, because they're very reserved and very thoughtful about what they say and who they say it to. And I think that it's going to make you feel like this is someone who has a lot of important thoughts going on in their head because they're being so careful about what they share with people around them. And I think that's going to really interest you, because I think that the people that you were around before were very, maybe they said a lot of just frivolous, random stuff. Maybe they were the type of person to have just sort of that very, like, cookie cutter sense of humor, you know? Maybe they'd like say funny tweets verbatim to friends as if they were their own jokes and everyone would laugh. But this is a person who would be like, they're deep in their mind, they're extremely witty because they're highly intellectual. And so, you know, whatever jokes they do say, they're like, literally no one else could have thought of them, and everyone is just sort of like stunned that this person like said something, but also that what this person said was like so funny and so witty or sarcastic. Oh my gosh, we also have the 9 of Cups. So I think that, okay, so this is the beginning of the new relationship. I think that you guys are both going to be so pretty self-sufficient when you guys meet each other. I think that you guys, I think that at least this person, I think that they have a lot going for them. I think that this person hasn't really been in many connections because they don't even really probably have so many friends because they are just very careful about who they give their energy to. But I think that they have a lot going on for them. I think that they do a lot of things. They experience a lot of things, you know? This is someone who, it's not just that they're like quiet and reserved. No, this is a person who they don't talk in large groups of people because they don't want to have all of that energy drawn to them, because they know that a lot of the people in this group are not like the nicest of people, or they project a little bit, or they're kind of shallow in some ways. And you know, so this is a person who they just don't talk when they are around people that they don't think that they should talk around. But this is someone who, you know, they probably do have best friends that they talk to, people that they can spill their guts to and that know everything about them and that they do really trust with their whole heart. But they're also wise about who those people may be, and so they know that not everyone they can spill their whole heart to. But they have a lot going on for them still, you know? Maybe they have a beautiful apartment, they have a nice car, they have their dream job. I think that very much their life is what they want it to be. They've curated a life exactly tailored to them, and I think that because you guys are so similar, it's also going to be a life that's very tailored to you. It's going to be very balanced. I think that they hang out with friends, you know, sometimes. They have, you know, good laughs with those friends and everything, but then I think that they also, you know, they spend times inside, you know, maybe they have this, a computer project that they're starting, maybe they have an artistic project or something on the side that they do, an individual hobby. But you know, I think that this person also could be the type to have just a lot of random hobbies, you know, like with other people. You know, this is the type of person, even if they're like 27 and they're like sort of a punk alt guy and they're 27 years old, maybe they have an interest in meditation, and so they join like a meditation group in their local community that's like mainly like middle-aged women or something, and so they seem really out of place, but you know, they go there and they're friendly with these people, and these people become like, you know, they're friends, and they're, you know, they're kind acquaintances, and these are people that they do trust. And it's just sort of very funny because it seems like this person is out of place in a lot of ways, in a lot of the situations that they put themselves in, but they're actually perfectly in place because it's exactly who this person is, you know? Maybe they do like jujitsu or something, and they do jujitsu just with like a demographic of people who are just so different from who their demographic, you know? Maybe this is really giving me the vibes of like a younger person who like joins activities with older people, or maybe you know, for those of you who maybe are middle-aged, or who, if this person could be middle-aged, you know, they may do activities with a bunch of younger people. So maybe this is like a middle-aged so maybe this is like a middle-aged man or something, and he does like Zumba with like a bunch of women or a bunch of younger people. Or maybe this is an older person and they do pole dancing with a bunch of younger people. But I think that they just really, they know what they like, they know what they want to do, and they have their own little communities and what they like to do. And I think that just sort of in whatever community that you meet them in, it does feel like there are a lot of fairly like shallowish people around you. So maybe it's that you guys meet them in sort of like a large friend group that's a little bit bigger than their group of close, intimate friends. Maybe they're in a large friend group consisting of just a lot of mutual friends, so it's people that they don't readily trust. But I think that this person, you know, it is giving me the vibe of like Christian Grey and Edward Cullen, you know, like that brooding, mysterious nature, but also like they have parts of their life that they just, you know, Edward Cullen, he's a vampire, he's deep in the vampire community. Christian Grey, you know, he has his whole like career and whatever, but this gives me the vibe of, yeah, this person just has they have a lot of hobbies, a lot of like fun, cute little things that they do, but a lot going on for them, and you really appreciate that. You admire it. You love how much this person seems like they have their shit together, you know? It feels like this person does have their life together, and they know exactly what they want, how to conduct themselves around people, how to get what they want, and just how to live a life that's peaceful and balanced. And you do deeply admire that. Alright, now let's get one more card about pile one. So, beginning of the relationship. So why pile one chooses their future spouse in the beginning of the relationship. I think that you're going to appreciate, they're going to bring the same balance into your relationship. I think that you guys are going to have a nice balancing of, you know, spending time together and spending time doing your individual hobbies. I think that there's going to be a level of them bringing you into these hobbies and things that they do alone. You know, it does feel like they're very decentralized, so it feels like they have maybe like a few really close best friends, but then they also have hobbies that they do with acquaintances and people they're friendly with that their close friends really don't have an idea about. And I think that they're going to bring you into all of those circles, into all of those aspects of their life. So they're mysterious, but they let you in, you know? I think that they'll show you. Yeah, this is giving me tell, don't show. I think that they're not going to talk to you a lot about, you know, the different things that they like and their different hobbies, but they're going to show you it. They're going to include you in it, you know? They're going to say, hey, like, do you wanna come to the pole dancing class with me? Or like, do you wanna meet me at the pole dancing class and I can introduce you to like my couple friends there or something? And I think that you're going to appreciate that. And then we also have the Eight of Coins, the Eight of Pentacles. So when you're in the beginning of this relationship, I think that they are going to tirelessly work towards bettering this connection. I think that they're going to tirelessly work towards getting to know you. And I think that it's going to be, again, not in a very verbal way, but I think that it's going to be in a very physical, unspoken way. I think that they're going to just try to be around you a lot. I think that And you're going to take that to heart. Because you're gonna notice that this person doesn't really let many people in. You know, first of all, this person only has a handful of really close, true friends that they tell everything to. And even those friends, they don't involve those friends in all the different facets of their life, like their different hobbies and how they spend all of their time or their studies. But I mean, they're going to involve you in every aspect of it, and you're going to feel very special. You're going to feel how much this person loves you and how different you are in their eyes. I think you're going to just really see this person for who they are, through spending so much time with them. And I think that that's sort of like what they want. They want you to get a good idea of who they are. They want you to be able to trust you, or they want you to be able to trust them. And so but they also know that their energy really isn't, you know, I don't think that there's not a lot of air. There's the 9 of Swords, and that's giving me anxious mental energy, but there's not a lot of air in this at all. So I think that there's not going to be a lot of speaking when you're in the process of falling in love with this person. I think that you're going to just, in the beginning, you're going to really just experience them living their life, and you're going to just be so in awe of how they experience and live that life. And you're going to just deeply, deeply respect them, I think. Alright, but now let's get to when you're in a relationship with them, which is super fun. So, why does Pile 1 choose this future spouse when they're in a relationship with them? When they're in a relationship with them. So, like, going back to, like, your anxiety and these people just sort of having diverging paths, I think that you sort of, these people that you were with before, they were different from you, and that's why sort of the unspoken, the energy of your connection sort of led to a disconnect. I think that you yourself may not have a lot of air energy, so maybe you're not very vocal about things, and so you do leave things in your head, and that's where sort of the confusion came in these connections, because where you thought one thing in your head, this other person was thinking something completely different in their head. And I think that this person, you're going to see obviously that they're on exactly the same page as you, and I think that you're going to tell that by just their actions. And I think that this is giving me the vibe of someone who it's like, you both, maybe you guys are hanging out and you guys are watching TV, and then they get up and, get their laptop to start looking at food, like to order online. And you're like, oh, I was actually like just thinking about how I'm hungry, and like now would be the perfect time to order takeout. And they're like, oh yeah, like that's what I was thinking, let's order something. It's gonna be the vibe of just things like that, little unspoken things that just sort of make you realize you guys are literally thinking basically like the exact same things. Like your brain processes are like very much exactly the same to each other in a lot of ways, whereas I feel like in your other relationships, I feel like if you had seen this person, or I think a better example would be you're watching TV with this person, with your future spouse, and they get up to get their laptop, and you say, oh, you should use your laptop to like look at food to order online, and your future spouse is like, oh yeah, that's why I was getting it. It's giving me the vibe that in these other connections, you would tell them that, and then they would be like, or you would be thinking that you wanted food, but then this person would get up to get their laptop, and it would just be to like look at clothes online or something, or to like, just play a game or something. It feels like but then with your future spouse, actually, why they're getting the laptop is the same reason why you wanted to get them to get the laptop. So just little implicit subconscious things like that make you feel just very comfortable with this person, whereas I feel like before maybe you couldn't have predicted a lot of the actions or behaviors of the people you are in a relationship with, I feel like you can predict this person. And not to say that they're just like predictable, but to say that you guys are so similar and they make it very blatant why they do the things they do. I feel like they're a very blunt person, you know? I feel like if you were to ask them, oh, why aren't you talking that much? I think that it would be because they'd be like, well, I just don't have that much to say right now. Or they'd say something like, well, we're talking about politics and I know that my political takes aren't going to be accepted and I just don't have the energy for fighting on it right now. You know, they're very blatant, they're very obvious, and it brings you a lot of comfort because I feel like there was a lot unknown in your past relationships. All right, when pile one over time, when pile one is like in the relationship with their future spouse, when they really know their future spouse, they know who they are, why does pile one choose them when they really know this person? Why does pile one choose this person? Oh, these cards are being very hard to shuffle. Very hard to shuffle. When pile one really knows this person, why do they choose them? When pile one really knows this person. Oof! We have the Nine of Pentacles. So that's beautiful because it's telling me that like, well, we have the Nine of Cups here. That's when you first met them. And then it's like when Nine of Pentacles, it's like the grounding energy translated from the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups to me told me like, you know, potential. It was this person having a lot going on for them and them wanting to bring you into that and you being excited at how much this person has going on in their life and you getting excited because you're like, that could be my life too. Like I could also only talk to people that I care about and I could also, you know, go out and do hobbies even if it seems a little weird that I'm doing that thing, you know, even if it's weird that I'm like a 21-year-old going to a knitting class, I can still do it because look, my partner also does that stuff, you know. And then the Nine of Coins tells me that it did translate into being grounded. So it's no longer just like in your head or in your heart as just like a want, as a potential, but you guys are actually going out and doing things together and, you know, not just separately and letting the other be aware of it, but I think that you guys are doing things together as well. I think that you sort of realize now that what all of the potential, all of the beautiful potential that maybe was like stifled verbally, because once again, yeah, there was not so much communication. I feel like there was a lot of just like being in each other's energetic fields and, you know, accompanying each other in a lot of things. I think that you guys sort of, you become very confident in that, very secure in that. I think that those instances of just sort of tagging along separately as the other person just sort of goes through their day-to-day life, their daily routine, grounded this relationship and made it feel sustainable for you to actually become a part of those routines. And it has become very comfortable for you guys as well. I think that you guys, the Wheel of Fortune is in the back of the deck. Let me show you. Yep, Wheel of Fortune is in the back of the deck. So I think that you guys are just, it does feel like the excitement that you had in the beginning of meeting this person did translate into actually being able to maintain that excitement. And so it wasn't just that, you know, you felt really comfortable subconsciously in this person's energy, and then it turns into you're comfortable in their embrace, in their physical embrace. You know, because I was talking about how this does feel more energetic. This is how you guys feel in each other's energy. And then I feel like after you sort of really get to know this person, I feel like you've become so comfortable with them, you guys do begin to, you know, get a little bit more physical, or just the comfort that you felt purely from being around each other now is comfort that you feel from being like very, very much involved in each other's lives. And so I think that, you know, you accompany them to their hobbies, they accompany you to your hobbies. You guys are just both enmeshed, intertwined in each other's lives. And I think that it was a relief for you, because I think that finally, where sort of like this third pentacle diverged in your past relationships, where you would want one pentacle like moving in together and your person would want another pentacle, which is moving across the country. I think that finally you feel secure in that what you guys both want, and the potential that you see in this connection is potential that will actually be grounded. So you guys are actually, you do move in with this person. You do become actively part of each other's lives. All of these things, all of these third pentacles that you were wanting with these other relationships that these other people weren't interested in, is the exact thing that this future spouse is interested in. So yeah, it's giving me the vibes of just they're on exactly the same page that you're on in this connection. So it's when you want to move in together, they agree. They think that you're ready to move in together too. When you guys, maybe want to get married or want to, have a child or get a pet or something, they're on the same page and they think that it's time as well. And I think that gradually over time, I don't necessarily think that this is something that's like, verbally expressed so much as, just physically expressed, So it's, I think that maybe you guys show each other you're ready to move in with each other by, just more consistently staying at each other's places and mentioning, or maybe like looking at apartments to move in together. And then it's just those sort of like physical things, this person stays over at your place all the time, you stay over at their place all the time, you guys have become very comfortable living with each other, and it's those sort of things that make you guys both just sort of realize, oh yeah, logically, let's move in together, cheaper rent, and we're so comfortable with each other and love each other, yeah, let's move in. And so, but it's just the sort of those instances of that are grounded in real life of you guys, being with each other and being around each other so consistently that makes you guys, whereas before, yeah, you were in different pages in your head, you and the people you were in relationships with, the groundedness of this connection and how you guys treat each other and act around each other sort of cause you guys to be on the same page, because you guys are cut from the same cloth. So when you're given the same starting point and you're given the same circumstances, you guys both have the same outcome, because you're the same people, same starting point. You guys were in the same circumstances together, and now you guys both want to move in together, or, both want to get a cat or something, what have you. But okay, so why pile 1 chooses this person? Why pile 1 chooses this person? I wasn't expecting this to be such a long reading, but that's okay. Why pile 1 chooses this person after they really know them? There's just so much trust. You guys really just trust them a lot because they've proven themselves to you. Temperance. Oh, yeah, so there's a lot of balance to this relationship as well. I think that you guys... There's a lot of balance, but unified balance. Whereas I feel like before in your connections, it would have been a little bit of a toss-up. Maybe you would have said your relationship was balanced, maybe you were the nurturer, they were the provider or something. But I think that it was, in a disconnected way, you nurtured them, but then they didn't really realize that they were, or better phrases, maybe you were the feminine, they were the masculine, and it was balanced in that way, but maybe they were very insular masculine, so they weren't really acting, masculine in a relationship sense. Maybe they were acting masculine with the relationship with themselves, so maybe they, instead of, you would nurture them, but then they would go out and make their bag, but with themselves in mind, not with the relationship in mind. They'd go out and make a lot of money and assert themselves, but in a way to sort of better their own circumstance, not really better the relationship circumstance. But then I feel like this connection, this person, I feel like you guys are both balanced in a way that translates into the relationship. So I think that you guys will actually, yeah, I feel like you guys just understand each other so much. There's just like an obviousness to this person, this connection that your other previous connections haven't had. I think that this person is going to be very very balanced in how they conduct themselves also, just overall as a person. I think that they're going to have, you know, a balance of alone time and sort of relationship time with you. But then I think that also Temperance is referring just sort of to the fact that you guys, it's giving me the mental image of, you know, the other Temperance card on the Rider-Waite deck of the, you know, 2 cups being poured out, or like 1 cup being poured out and another one being raised. It's giving me the vibes that you guys just sort of do mix in your energy perfectly together. You guys just do have so much harmony within you and your relationship because you guys are so similar, and so it feels like whatever fight you guys have, it just can be effortlessly resolved because it won't even be a fight. It'll just be like a little disagreement, you know, or a miscommunication. But I feel like honestly most of the times there won't be any miscommunications because you guys really do have the same like brain, the same processing, and so I feel like whatever you sort of assume is what they're sort of also assuming. And so I think that there's just going to be a lot of balance in that regard as well. And I think that you guys are going to be, yeah, just have a lot of harmony in your connection as well. It's honestly, it's weird because I'm not getting a lot of specific messages. I'm getting a lot of like fairly vague messages because it's just really this energy of you guys just being like, yeah, cut from the same cloth, this like the same person. So it's a little, it's very interesting. So let's see, why pile 1 chooses their future spouse when they're in a relationship with this person. Why pile 1 chooses their future spouse when they're in a relationship with this person. I think this person will do a lot for you also, but I think that you both will do a lot for each other, honestly. I think this person will, in very complementary ways. I think this person, acts of service is probably a big one. And I think that for you, probably towards them, you like to give them physical touch. I think that, yeah, they love acts of service though. That's how they really express their gratitude towards you. And just doing things when, or, you know, buying you things when it makes them think of you. Ooh, and then so we have Engineer of Knives. So this is King of Swords. So I think that once you guys actually do get in a relationship with each other, the communication does become very strong. I think that there's a little bit of like a warming up period just because this person has a little bit of a warming up period when they meet anyone. But I feel like, you know, why you choose them, I think that they're going to be so, I think that once you guys become very comfortable with each other, just even if they don't verbally use a lot of words, I think that what they're thinking becomes so known to you. And not to say that like this is a toxic sense of you need to read their mind and understand what they're going through without them telling you. No, I think that you guys are just sort of going to implicitly, naturally sort of be able to read each other so well. So it's like, you know, when this person, I think, you know, you're going to be able to tell that this person wants to move in with you, yeah, because they're inviting you over to stay at their house all the time, or they're telling you to like leave a toothbrush, or they're telling you to you know, like leave a bag or something, or it's just they're making it very obvious. And I don't think that they're purposefully sort of masking anything, you know. I don't think that they're going to try to not ask you to move in together, But it's just that all of their little actions of asking you to stay over more frequently, asking you to leave some stuff at their place, it's going to make you realize, obviously, that that they're getting ready to like ask you to move in with them or something, or that this is the turn that your relationship is taking. And I think that you're going to be very confident, even if there's not so much communication that's had about like, you know, things like milestones, or, you know, even just little things like how you design the apartment you move into. I think that you guys are both just going to, from each other's actions, going to be so on the same page. And yeah, I think why you choose this person, I think that they don't really need strong words to have you feel comfortable, you know? They don't need strong words. They don't need to love bomb you and tell you how perfect and beautiful and amazing you are for you to feel like they do find you beautiful and they do love you. It's the little things that they say, the little things that they do, because you got to know them so well on such a deep, intimate level. That's how they sort of are able to really make you feel comfortable and secure in this connection. So let's get a final oracle card just of advice for pile 1. Why they choose their future spouse. Just a little word of advice for why pile 1 chooses their future spouse. Just to finish off the readings. It's been a little bit, you guys. It's been a little bit. Let's see. Pile 1. Some word of advice for pile 1 and their future spouse. Why they choose their future spouse. Why pile 1 chooses their future spouse. Why pile 1 chooses their future spouse. Why pile 1 chooses their future spouse. So we have tree, let them go. So I think that final word of advice for you guys, why you choose your future spouse. There was a level of, in your past connections, the endings were not really up to you. It does feel like that was sort of the case most times. Or even if it was strictly up to you, maybe you broke up with this person, maybe it's because they chose to date other people, or they chose you know, to spend more time at the career versus spending time with you, and so you decided to let them go, but it was sort of like you felt like your hand was forced. And I think that this connection, I think that in letting those people go, or in having them walk away from you, and then you sort of realizing that this person is not someone who is able to sort of fall away from you so easily, that helps you, or that shows you how important this person is in your life, and how, you know, whereas you were a little insecure and anxious about not really finding anyone who would be able to stick around in the way that you want them to stick around. And then I think that you realize, you know, you tried to control these situations, you tried to make it happen for yourself, and they just didn't work out. They let themselves go from your grasp. And now you have this new person that you meet, and I think that you do sort of act the same ways as you did in the other connections, but this person doesn't let go. They sort of grow closer to you. And so your word of advice is sort of, you know, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. That's not why these people are sort of falling out of alignment with you. That's not why you can't seem to maintain a relationship for very long. It's not because of anything you're doing, you know? You're being yourself. You're being how you're comfortable being in a relationship. I just think that these people is not your future spouse. And your future spouse is going to be someone who sticks by you and who will be on the same page as you and will want the same things as you do. And so if you are with people right now and you're fighting, it feels like you're fighting to have your point of view validated, or it feels like you're fighting to feel connected to them, then letting them go will help bring you in alignment with this person who you won't have to fight in that same way with. You won't have to fight them to keep them around. Or you won't have to fight to make what you want in a relationship known, because it'll be implicitly, subconsciously known by both of you guys, because you and your future spouse are really cut from the same cloth. But okay, pile 1, I'm gonna leave it there for you guys. I hope this resonated for you. If it did, please do like, comment, subscribe. I would love to see you guys again. And subscribing really does help out my channel a lot. But I'm gonna leave it here, and I hope you guys have a very nice day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hey, pile 2. If you guys chose this little card, this will be your reading all about why you choose your future spouse. So, first of all, a random message that came out was WandaVision. Maybe if you were recently watching that or you really like that show, this is just extra confirmation this is your pile. Or maybe your future spouse would really like that show, or maybe they'll be recently watching it right now. I don't know. But alright, let's get into it. This is going to be your reading all about why you choose your future spouse. So, first we're going to get some oracle cards just about your relationship with your future spouse. Just to sort of, set the vibe for the whole thing. Yeah, so I think I got WandaVision because this little painting, this little card does look fairly gray. It looks very, very gray, in fact. Actually, it's blue though. It's like a lavender color. It's very nice. But it is pretty monochromatic, so it all seems like it's one color, and I guess just the black and white nature of WandaVision, that aspect of the show. I haven't ever seen it, so it is kind of random that came up, but yeah, that aspect of that show is giving me WandaVision, I guess. So alright, pile 2's relationship with their future spouse. Pile 2's relationship with their future spouse. We got levitation, higher ground, belief, mastery, meditation. Oh my god, that's so... Meditation is very good. I was gonna say I just said meditation, but I don't think I did say meditation. I said WandaVision. But alright, higher ground. That's giving me the Red Hot Chili Peppers song, Higher Ground. Yeah, this was giving me the bridge picture specifically. The Midwest of the United States could be important for you guys, or maybe that could be additional confirmation if that's where you are from, or if that could potentially be where this person is from, or maybe both of you. I don't know. I'm not getting into that in this reading, but belief. So your relationship with this person, I think it's pretty fun. And I don't know why I said your relationship with this person, because I was, the topic is why you choose this person, but I feel like this is about your relationship, that nature of your relationship. It makes you levitate, and I don't mean by, like silent levitation where you're just like sitting still and you close your eyes and you're silent and then you just are lifted off the floor. It feels more like, and I know that's kind of what she's doing in this picture, but it feels more like, upbeat, like you're dancing to music and you're dancing so hard eventually you begin to levitate. The Dua Lipa song, I swear to god, I think. Yeah, so that's what this is giving me. This is giving me, I think this relationship is very upbeat and exciting. I think you guys have a lot of fun together, which is ironic because of how gray this card is. But I mean, that does sort of go, I guess, with the message of WandaVision, because I know that I don't watch that show, but I do know the premise is a person who like goes back in time or something, or like they like live in a TV show, like a black and white TV show. I don't know. I don't understand how it works. I don't know why she's there. I don't know what she's doing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I also haven't seen any of those movies, so I'm just really, I'm going off right now, but I'm very confused in a lot of ways of WandaVision. But I know in general it must be some exciting plot line, because it is like pretty weird. Well, I know that, yeah, she's like in a TV or something, so it's pretty crazy, pretty out there, but you know, you just have, it's pretty ironic that it's such a weird, chaotic plot line, but then it's yeah, black and white, shot in black and white, and then here we have like this gray, bleak little bridge, and it just reminds me, I guess it reminds me of how I felt on car rides riding with my family throughout the Midwest when I was younger. Yeah, so that's how your relationship feels. Your relationship feels like driving in a car with the windows down, blasting a song that you love through the radio, sitting next to someone you love the most, and like singing so hard, dancing so hard to that song on just like an empty road as you guys are going really fast, and it's, you know, the summertime, so it feels warm, but you know, you have a breeze, and just so upbeat and exciting, but relaxing, but in a way that actually does make you feel like you are transcending in real time. So why you choose this person? Because I don't think that you've probably ever experienced a relationship exactly like that before with anyone else. Yeah. So I think that that's why I think was called to read this card, is more what your relationship is like, because why you choose, I mean, yeah, you choose this relationship because it helps you levitate. Yeah. So now let's get another card. Pile 2. Why pile 2 chooses this relationship. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that card just like flopped out. Alright, why pile 2 chooses this relationship. About this relationship. Why pile 2 chooses this relationship. So we have 2 cards that came out. We have the Lovers and Serendipity. That's so cute, you guys. Alright, yeah. So 2 cards that came out. The Lovers and Serendipity. And I love how they're kind of like the same. They're the same color. These are 2 people, or it's like they're both people. This is 2 people, and then that's just 1 person. Which also the fact it's 2 and then 1 tells me I think this is happening soon if you haven't met this person yet, and you may be meeting them soon. Just take that message if it resonates for some of you. If not, just ignore it. So why you choose this relationship, what this relationship is like, I think that, yeah, you don't, I guess that it feels like serendipity, regardless of whether or not it actually is serendipitous, like how you meet this person or how you come together with them, etc. I think that it feels that way. I feel like even if it was you very much meeting them intentionally in any way, you know, even if you literally go to, like, you're the type of person to go to like dating conferences, not conferences, what? No, dating, like dating events, speed dating events. You would be like, oh my gosh, what are the odds that that person is there, and then they're there, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's serendipity, even though you very much, you know, you're putting yourself in a position to do exactly what someone wanting to find someone would do. And so even if you create that situation for yourself, I feel like it's still gonna feel serendipitous. And then we have the Lovers. So why you choose this relationship, you guys are just simply in love with each other. The Lovers tarot card, you know, it does not always speak strictly of love. It usually speaks of duality and choice, but I feel like this is very much speaking of love, and if anything, it's speaking of like the choice to sort of go all in this relationship. Because I mean, we did have black and white, that message coming out with WandaVision from this card, so I think that there could be an aspect of duality to this relationship. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. It could potentially be like the groundedness, and also like the the pure emotional romanticness of it, but I think, you know, here with the fire on the ground and then the star in her head, that's sort of what that is giving me, you know, the real grounded physical output versus like the inner, like how it's changing one's inner world. But we'll see. But the lovers, yeah, you guys are just simply in love with each other. You guys are crazy about each other. Yeah. Alright, let's get into it. So let's get some cards about, just dropped a whole deck. That's okay, it plopped down all together, so that's fine. So let's get some cards about pile 2, their past, their relationship past. So for why they choose this person, their relationship past. Where are you coming from, pile 2? Serendipity. I mean, I'm interested to see how that card will play out, because I know that, you know, a lot of times people won't feel like, you know, it's serendipity how they meet someone, but even if it does feel very, you know, man-made, self-created by you, the situation in which you meet this person will feel serendipitous. But I don't know, like, maybe for some of you it is serendipitous, but who knows, like, let's see. And you could probably check out another reading of mine if you want to find out. I probably do have something. I can remake them too recently or soon. Words. Alright, so pile 2. Why pile 2 chooses this person? What's their relationship past? Pile 2's relationship past. Ooh, so we have the 2 of Wands coming out, and then we also had the 10 of Coins coming out, so that's very interesting. But they were both reversed at first, but I don't read reversals, but I mean I do detect blocked energy, and I mean, yeah, so that's blocked energy. So we have so we have the 2 of Wands and we have the 10 of Coins, and so 2 cards that are about stability, or so 2 cards. So this is about passion. So 1 card about passion, 1 card about stability. Passion is the Wands, stability is the Coins. So we have, that could be, you know, an aspect of the duality. I feel like in the past you've probably experienced duality with people that was, you know, either passion or either stable. Because, you know, we did have 2 cards coming out, even though I only wanted 1. We did have 2 that came out, and we did have the message of duality earlier, so I think that, definitely, yeah. And then we have the star. So, see how these cards are actually, like, insanely good. So I think that they're insanely good, but, okay, that's like a rash, very hasty generalization, but they're positive cards. They're cards that I could definitely have read in a positive light, but I'm not so much getting that. I'm getting a little bit more like in the past you felt like you had to choose between stability or between passion, and so I feel like the people that you were around were, I feel like you could have had either like a very fiery, excitable connection with them, or they were connections that you could actually depend on. I feel like the ones that are stable or the ones that were, you know, passionate and rash, they were the ones that sort of burnt out quickly. It is the 2 of Wands, but the 2 of Wands does speak about, you know, 2 is once again duality, the aspect of duality, and it's about going out and adventure, but sort of adventure, but the dualistic dichotomous aspect of adventure. So it's, you know, adventure, but at what price? It's like, or going off and doing something I'm passionate about and having to leave behind something else. It does speak of duality. It doesn't only speak of joyous union, but it speaks of 2 things, you know, and coming together, or 2 things potentially having to be juggled between each other. But then we have the 10 of Coins, and so I feel like in the past, though, well, we have the star. Let's get the last card. I feel like you guys could have been in relationships maybe that you've over romanticized in a way. Maybe you sort of, either for some of you, maybe you over romanticized your connections, or you sort of you assumed that you could have had maybe more than you were able to. So this is, for the Two of Wands, maybe you were hoping, you know, you had this passion connection, but then also, you know, your work took you elsewhere or something, or you just really wanted to move. It was something that you really felt called to do, and you thought that you would be able to keep up maybe a connection with these people, but then you weren't able to. I think that you did have stability. I think that you did have security, but I think that it was at the price of this stability or security of something else. So yeah, maybe you tried to go out and chase your passion. You always wanted to be a singer, so you went out and tried to be a singer, and maybe you did well in this sense of you were able to make it fairly quickly as a singer, and you were able to become fairly popular fairly soon or something. But maybe it was at the expense of your stable full-time job, and so you had a more maybe inconsistent income, even if it was, you know, still a livable income. And so then we have the emergent of lighters, so the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, it's not the Knight of Wands, so it's not such a unstable, rocky dichotomy, but it is, you know, these things that you've had to juggle in the past, these situations you've had to juggle in the past. I think that they were, enthusiasm. I think that you were really enthusiastic and really excited about things, and excited about the potential, and then it sort of fizzled out. The pun with the wands imagery. Yeah, we do have a lot of fire, so I feel like you could definitely be a fire sign. I think that this is honestly your excitement that I'm channeling, because I am channeling some excitement. I do think that you have a very exciting life ahead of you, and you've had a lot of exciting things that you've been doing. But also that just means a lot of things that you have to juggle, and not even necessarily juggle, but just a lot of factors that you have to factor in when you're making decisions, you know? If you're choosing a new hobby, if you're choosing a new career, if you're choosing a new apartment, even if it's in the same city, you're gonna have to factor in a whole bunch of new things, you know? You're gonna have to move. Even if you're, you know, starting school, dropping out of school, you're gonna have to change in some way, and this change is exciting, but it also requires or entails just a jostling up of your current circumstances. What the current life you know, once you make that decision, is not really going to exist anymore. You are going to change. Your life's going to change. Your circumstances are going to change. Not to freak you out, but I think this is something that you've learned already, honestly. And I think that you just had to leave behind things and situations, and I feel like maybe for a lot of you that you guys haven't even had that many people, and maybe the people you have had, you just haven't really been able to really lift it off the ground securely, and so you just haven't really had many stable connections in your life, even though that is what you're craving. So I don't think that you've been in many unstable connections. I just think that you haven't been in any really connections. You do have a very mature energy to you. But let's get some cards about soon after you meet this person. Because, yeah, I feel like these cards are honestly all such wonderful cards, but they're cards that aren't really about relationships. And I was asking about relationships, just cut the deck, and I got the Wheel of Fortune. So I think that this could definitely be a situation where, like, a lot of you guys are not, you guys haven't really been with people, and you guys really weren't meant to be with these people, you know? Anything that did or did not happen was or was not supposed to happen, respectively, you know? I think that what did happen was supposed to happen in your life in regards to your relationships, even if that was a lot of things not really getting off the ground. I think that it was because you did sort of have a blind faith in a way in regards to some things, that everything would just work out if you continued to follow your passions. And I think that, you know, it is. And if that's not something that you currently resonate with, I think that it's something that you will resonate with. If you resonate with this pile and this group, you know, once I'm done with the reading, if you resonate with this group as a whole, then I think that this could be definitely something that you experience just simply before you come into union with your future spouse. But alright, so once you meet your future spouse, what's it like? Why do you like them? Why do you choose them once you meet your future spouse? Ooh, we have the moon. So what's it like when you meet your future spouse? Mysterious. Surprise, surprise. So, when you meet your future spouse, I think that, okay, because there was that message before in your past of things just simply not really coming to fruition, not really stabilizing in the way that you want them to, you know, or even, no, I feel like for most of you, probably nothing. Maybe for some of you, you had some sort of like long-term relationship or stable relationship when you were younger, but I feel like you've grown so much since then that you don't really resonate with that version of you in a relationship anymore in a way. But I think that you guys, yeah, I think when you meet this person, you don't know if, ooh, we have the Emperor. You don't really know if this connection is going to be just like those other ones, you know, the ones that sort of, they came in very quickly, very hastily. For some of you, well, yeah, I feel like you were very passionate about them in a lot of ways very quickly and very enthusiastically. But then they also just sort of fizzled out fairly quickly when you moved away places. Or maybe even you didn't just move away, but maybe you just like, your mentality shifted, you know? Maybe you were the one who was really constantly communicating to this person and they barely communicated back to you. But then, you know, you realized, oh, I shouldn't be spending my time doing this because I actually have some other things that I want to get done that I'm passionate about in my life, to make some other change happen. Or it's like, I shouldn't be spending so much time and energy trying to communicate with this person who doesn't really care that much about communicating with me, I guess, when I have this side project that I really want to get off the ground. And then it starts to get off the ground and you start to take that energy and use it for this project that you have. And that project just sort of, maybe it works and then it entails a lot more consistent energy of yours, and so you really realize that you don't have time for like these other people that just sort of are transiently in your life. Or maybe it's not even that, but you just learned in that moment that that person was taking up time that you could have been spending on this project, and then you start spending it on that project, and it just takes you and orients you completely away from that person, and you don't think about them anymore. And then you meet your future spouse, and you wonder if that's just going to be the same situation over again, maybe. For some of you, take what resonates, of course. But yeah, But then we have the Emperor, so I feel like why you choose this person, I think that there is, so this is an Emperor it's interesting, he looks very different from the traditional Rider-Waite Emperor. He looks a lot less threatening, a lot less intimidating, and I think that is because I think that you may really approach them. For a lot of you guys, take what resonates, of course, but I think that regardless, I think that it could be just you who sort of, I want to say, conducts like the initial meeting, you know, when you guys first meet each other, or when you guys just are sort of first getting to know each other. Maybe it's you who asks most of the questions, but I feel like this person, your future spouse, is so composed, they're so in control, they can answer your questions, they respond in a way that just makes you want to know more. They respond in an objectively good way. You know, and not to say that there's anything really that exists that is objectively good, not to make that statement right now, but just they respond in a way that's like, yeah, just anyone like very agreeable. Anyone would get along with it, you know? And you just want to learn more about them. And I think that when you first meet them, so the moon energy is mostly you wanting to uncover the truth of this connection, and of this person's potential in your life, and it's you sort of taking a very sly, undercover approach to sort of getting them to speak more about themselves or express more about themselves, convey more about themselves in a way. And I feel like they've passed the test very much, you know? And it draws you in, and I think that that's why sort of you initially want to come into union with this person. That's why you initially, I think that they very much do pass this test. I think that you see that it's balanced, I feel like, in a way that your other connections maybe weren't. Where your other connections were maybe just so passionate, or just you were so into them so instantly, and maybe someone made a move really quickly, or it was just the attraction was known really quickly. I feel like it took just a little bit longer in this connection for you guys with your future spouse. Not like an annoyingly long way, but just in a way that was, just a lot more undercover, under the table, secretive, you know? You guys, this does feel like you guys may have met in a more serendipitous way, like, you know, just out and about, instead of maybe on a dating app where you guys are trying to find someone. Maybe you guys met in a much more ambiguous setting. I feel like, this Emperor is also you, though, gaining control or wanting to gain control over how you guys, over coming together with them, you know? Because you are deeply interested in them. So we have the Emperor again, you guys. The Emperor twice. So you guys are both Emperors. You and your future spouse are Emperors. You guys may both take what resonates, of course. This may be a same-sex relationship, a queer relationship, but because two Emperors, I think that you guys, so it's a similarity, but it's a difference in that similarity, right? Because these are both the Emperor cards, but they're in different decks, and they're both very different still from the Rider-Waite, you know, because this is like the herbalist deck, and so he's just sitting there, and the herb is Atraticalodes. Can't pronounce that, not gonna try anymore to do that. But he's just like sitting there with his highly spiritual cane. I think this is a highly spiritual connection. You guys may relate to or resonate with like Hermeticism, or like Egyptian gods, goddesses, maybe African gods and goddesses, Isis for some of you. Isis and Osiris and Horus. Those are the three things that this is giving me, sorry, I'm holding it so out of frame. Where's the camera? Okay, here it is. It's like the Ankh, that's what it's reminding me of. And so Isis, Osiris, Horus, those could be spirit guides for some of you, divine parents for some of you. And then we have, like just a lounge chair, which is giving me, and I think it talks about, in this card, it talks about like your ancestors, or everyone having like that father figure that sits in a lounge chair, armchair, just like this. And so it's giving me, like a lot of divine lineage, divine ancestry, heritage, parents. I think that you guys could like be of the same soul group, soul tribe. But I think that you guys, it's yin and yang, because you guys are very similar in some ways, but it's almost like you guys are similar in the fact that in how you're both different, you know, from the average person, maybe. I don't think that you guys are similar to each other, but you guys are both different. Maybe you guys are both different, like, in similar ways. Or you're both different in different ways that are similar, you know, if you want to get super mathematical about it. But I think that this is a connection where you guys are both very, very equal to one another. And so it feels like yeah, when you guys meet each other, it's just sort of like you feed off of each other's energy very well, you know? Like you approach them with a question and they answer it exactly how you would want it to be answered, and they come back at you with a question. And you answer it exactly how they want it to be answered. And it's just like you guys keep going over the hurdles, you keep passing the tests with each other. And I think that it just gets you guys more and more interested and more trusting of the like validity of this person. You guys are like, okay, I can actually really see myself potentially with them, you know? It's, you know, I think that you also, where there was like some aspect of overconsumption or being overly consumed in these relationships in the past, you know, with these people and connections, just devoting so much time and energy and everything. I think there's a balanced nature to this connection, you know, there's a dualistic but balanced nature to it, where you guys don't spend so much time thinking about this connection, or it's like there's no opportunity for there to be time wasted on it. You guys just immediately off the bat, you know, you start dating, you start, you're in a committed relationship, and then it just starts building from there. You continuously start to grow your relationship in like an exponential way, an exponentially stable way, I want to say, because a lot of the time, like exponentiality and like having sort of an accelerated timeline like this for a relationship, it makes you feel a little unstable. But I feel like it's just because with like each milestone that you guys hit, you feel like twice as ready or twice as secure in the relationship, and so it just grows from there, you know. It feels like you get one point when you guys officially start to date exclusively. You get another point when you guys move in together. And then that expands to 2 when you guys move in together, and that 2 expands to 4 when you guys move. Did I say move in already? Or like get a pet or something together. And then that 4 turns to 16 when you guys, I don't know, like open up a joint checking account or something. And so those points just add to the security and the stability of your relationship, and so you just sort of very quickly but stably come into this relationship with each other, and it's very easy. And I feel like the long-term answer for why you choose this person is going to probably be very similar, and so it's probably I'm getting the vibe that it comes so naturally, so organically, but so quickly also. So that's another dualistic aspect of this relationship, because like one would think you'd feel unstable having this relationship develop as quickly as it does, but you don't. You just feel more and more stable over time. It's because you just feel so naturally tuned to this person, because you guys are like, you know, you're the same thing disguised by like different fabrics, you know. You're both the emperor disguised in different ways. But okay, now we're going to get into the long term of why you guys choose each other. Yeah, so this is already going to be like so much shorter than pile 1. I don't know, pile 1 I went like just crazy. It was crazy. Probably because it was my first time doing a pile in a very long time. That's okay. So I went on a few tangents, repeated myself a few times. So sorry, pile 1, if you guys are watching. I do that a lot, so sorry. Executive dysfunction. But alright, so why pile 2 chooses their future spouse after knowing them for a good period of time? Guys, we have the 5 of Swords, but it was coming out with the 2 of Pentacles right there. So why they choose them? So once again, this is, I knew it. I knew that the long-term answer was going to just morph into the previous parts of the reading, because so this is why you choose them long-term, is because they continue to prove to you that you're not just like picking up swords and missing swords that you want to be looking at on the ground, you know? I feel like in the past in these relationships, you would pick up these relationships, these people, these connections, and you'd be like, look what I got, but then it was at the expense of like your time and energy and resources, and so you weren't seeing the potential business opportunity that was right in front of your eyes, like business opportunity of your dreams that would enable you to get the income that you wanted, to make the life that you wanted for yourself, etc. And then once you dropped the swords that you were so hyper focused on and looked at the ones that you were missing on the ground, you realized, oh my gosh, no, look at that dream business opportunity that could literally help me make the life that I've always wanted for myself. A message that's coming out also is that you guys really could have been drawn to pile one. And for those of you who were, it was probably because you're getting messages where one pile is you and the other pile is your future spouse. And so, but right here, I'm getting that, yeah. So why you choose your future spouse long term? Because they're going to continuously prove to you that they're the only sword you want to be looking at. They're the only sword you care about, the only thing that you care about, the only pentacle that you care about, you know? Because this card, the Two of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite deck, it does show, you know, one pentacle is higher than the other. One pentacle is the one he's focusing on in the moment, the one that he wants to be focusing on. And so this is telling me that long term, why you continue to choose this person, why you choose to just be with them for the rest of your life, I believe, is because they just prove to you that they're the only thing that, the only person that has been stable. And your connection. Sorry, I thought I heard someone coming into my house. Scary. Okay. But, okay. So let's get some other cards. Yeah, like they just, so I feel like it is through like just who they are as a person. You uncover them. So it's telling me, it's giving me they're very mature. They're very, I feel like they're very nurturing and very caring, very protective. I feel like they're very soft-spoken, but they're strong in what they say. But they're gentle when they say it. The Tower. It was reversed, so I think that this is someone who helps you feel stable. There's someone who helps you feel like, because also this Tower card in this deck is such a tame Tower card, and the Tower is still intact. This person helps you avoid catastrophe. This person helps you avoid overexpending your energy in any one area, because this person themselves are so balanced. They're reserved, but in a mature, balanced way, tempered way. It's giving me the Temperance card, even though it didn't come out. I feel like they're this Emperor, and then you're this lounge chair Emperor. I feel like you're the Emperor. I feel like you could potentially be a little bit more in the background of them. They're giving me such leader energy, you guys. Yeah. I think that they're the person who, it's giving me like the king, you know, within the movies that always have like an evil dictator. They usually also have like a very kind, benevolent king who really is like very, very balanced, very mature, responsible, and who just wants the best for his kingdom, you guys. That's him, you know, that's them. This is that person. And once again, we have two cards coming out. So we have the Page of Cups, and we have the Five of Swords again, you guys. Yes, and it was upside down again, or reverse. So the Page of Cups, this person just helps you. Oh my gosh, this is such a sweet message that's also coming out. This person just helps you. This person, like, you guys feel in puppy love, like, for so long. Like, your honeymoon phase extends, like, just into your relationship. Your relationship just is essentially a honeymoon phase. You guys are so deeply in love. You embody the Page of Cups, even though it was literally like one of the last cards to come out for your spread. And I do read the spread like chronologically. And so I think that you guys just really are so blessed. And they're going to be so blessed, and you guys are going to feel so blessed and so lucky in this relationship. And it's just, once again, the message of, I am just so hyper aware that this person is the only one that I want to be with. I've had connections in the past. I've had a lot of potential. Because it does feel like you have had, your fair share of encounters with people. I just feel like not a lot have probably grounded, or even if the things that did ground, they didn't ground for a long time. This feels like it feels like either you had such a long-term relationship, it didn't even feel like a relationship anymore because it was just an embedded part of your life, and it was like in youth or something, or it started in youth, or I feel like you just had so many connections that were maybe just like for a little bit, and then eventually you got over them and you forgot about them and they were in the past. And even if you didn't necessarily forget about them, I feel like you did move on from them. I feel like you didn't have a lot of going back to your exes in your life. But yeah, you guys are just going to be in such a blissful relationship with this person. Blissful relationship, and you guys are going to know it. This person's going to help you just feel stable and feel like you guys can undergo or get through any sort of instability or insecurity or chaos because you have each other to lean on. And that's why, you feel more safe in the chaos with this person, because they're just like a shoulder to lean on. And so we're gonna get a final word of advice for you. And this just came out, raindrops, take a chance on them, and notice how it looks, two female women presenting people. So this could be, once again, same-sex relationship for some of you guys. Take what resonates again. But yeah, I think that raindrops, take a chance on them. This is giving me the vibe that in all of this, we did have the message of the moon being you sort of treading a little carefully when you meet people, because you don't really know what role they're going to take in your life. You don't really know or trust that they're going to be someone there to stay. And so I think that around all of these people who sort of very much demonstrated to you that they sort of demanded too much time, energy, or resources that took away from other opportunities you had, I think you're going to realize that this person is someone that can be underneath the umbrella with you as opportunities rain down around you. This is someone that you don't have to choose between them or the opportunity. They can be by your side and help you sustainably see through and manifest these opportunities. And that's going to be how you can tell and why you choose this person ultimately. So that is a beautiful message. All right, but pile number 2, I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I hope this resonated for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please do like and subscribe, because subscribing really does help out my channel. But I'm going to leave it there, and hope you have a nice day or night whenever you are seeing this. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you guys chose this little art piece, this will be your reading all about why you choose your future spouse. So first, let me channel some messages from the card. This one I was super excited to get to this group because I knew the messages would be a little special, because this is, this painting actually has like a couple on it, or I presume it's a couple. And it's just, the word they're giving me, or the phrase, is Bonnie and Clyde. I don't really know much about them or that like relationship in general, but I get it was like, a pair. Like they're just like a duo, like a pair of best friends that just go around hanging out with each other. I don't know what they do. Are they like I don't know, are they detectives? I have literally no idea. But yeah, it's giving me just, I think you and your future spouse are going to be best friends. And I mean, that's a fairly straightforward reason for why we would choose them if they're our best friend. But I think that you are going to have that sort of, to some extent, that sort of like buddy-buddy inseparable dynamic with them. But we'll clarify further with the cards. Actually, so yeah, first we're going to get some oracle cards about what you guys about, why you choose them, what your relationship's like, because I thought that would be a good way to sort of introduce, you know, your relationship dynamic. It'll give us a good background for, you know, the subsequent tarot cards. So why does pile 3 choose their future spouse? 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 2 cards came out. We have snakeskin and we have secret seances. So first, what's coming to me immediately is how all, you know, this is SS, secret seances, and snakeskin also begins with S. And snakeskin you can sort of divide into 2 words itself, snake and skin, and they both also begin with S. So first of all, your name could begin with S. It could be Sam. That's just like the first S name I know, Steve. Maybe their name could begin with an S. Maybe you have the same initials. Maybe they have the same initials, your future spouse or you. But yeah, S's may be important for you guys. S also tells me September, and we're in September right now. That's the month we're in when I'm filming this, even though this is a timeless tarot reading. So September may be important for you guys, important for your connection. But secret seances, it says spirit world, messages, assistance, and memories. And then for snakeskin, it says information, secrets, body language, senses. So I think your relationship, I think that in snakeskin, I think it's both that you guys have probably overcome your fair share of obstacles. I think, you know, Bonnie and Clyde, regardless of what their relationship dynamic actually is, because I don't know it, I think that maybe there could have, you know, it's given me the vibe that, you know, you guys may overcome obstacles together as well. I think that your relationship, people could very much be jealous of your dynamic, or just maybe like confused by it, or maybe a little, you know, subconsciously they're projecting something. And I think that you may come across snakes or obstacles as you guys come into union and are together throughout your lives. And I think that you guys are going to overcome it together. These 2 snakes are sort of intertwined. And it does almost seem like the one on the left is like the snake, and the one on the right is sort of like the skin that it sheds. And I think that you guys, this card is both telling me that you guys are going to sort of grow and transform into new people together. And I don't think it's just transformation, but I think it will be like ultimately like shedding of old wounds and traumas to fulfill or become and step into more of yourself. I don't think it's so much drastically changing who you are so much as being uninhibitedly yourself. And then with secret seances, I feel like your relationship, you are very spiritually connected to each other, and I think that there is an ethereal spiritual aspect of your relationship, sort of like an unspoken spiritual connection. But I think, you know, I think that that's sort of a little, I don't want to say unspoken anything, because I feel like you guys are such buddies as a couple. I think that you guys speak about basically everything. I think you guys are going to speak about how you guys are spiritually connected, but I think that honestly it goes even more beyond that. It goes, you guys are just deep soul best friends. It just gives me the vibe of just like, yeah, best friends that reincarnate together lifetime after lifetime, because they can't stand to be separated from each other and live a lifetime without the other. And so it just feels like, yes, you guys have an unspoken sort of spiritual connection, but I think that you guys also are actively best friends to each other. And so I think that, yes, that spiritual connection bonds you guys, but I think that that's not even so much on your mind in the forefront of this relationship so much as how much you guys are sort of intertwined in one another, and how you guys do see each other as just like parts of oneself. I don't even want to say like extensions of oneself, but it feels like, you know, they're an umbrella term under you, you know, like you guys are very much one and the same. And I feel like you guys, yeah, you guys are deep deep friends. I feel like you guys do overcome a lot though. Yeah, especially with how many S's we have, it's giving me just S, which is just, you know, the sound a snake makes. So I think that it's, you know, you guys are both sort of, not to say that you guys are snakes, but, you know, you guys transform and you sort of have the intelligence, the stealth, the sort of, you know, wisdom of snakes, because they are rather cunning. I feel like you guys have that ability, but mostly you guys have the ability of the snake to shed old skin and, you know, step more into the growing version of yourself. But I feel like there are also going to be, you know, snakes and people around you that maybe don't support this relationship, but maybe for insecurity reasons or projection reasons, and probably not even so much as don't support the relationship so much as they're just a little like actively jealous of it, and so maybe they just make little offhanded snarky remarks. But I think that you guys are going to have your fair share of people in your life who sort of trying to make you doubt this connection. And I think that maybe it could have been the case that with any other connection you would have fed into the doubts and you would have listened to them. But I think that because this relationship, you just are such best friends with this person. You trust them so much. You guys are so loyal to each other. You don't second guess their intentions at all. We have guardian angel. Yes, I think that you guys, it does feel like you guys, another pile actually had this message, but you guys may have the same guardian angels. You guys may have the same spirit team sort of guiding you, looking over you, and sort of gently nudging you guys towards each other for you guys to meet. Yeah, with another S word that this is giving me is serendipity. So another pile also had the serendipity card, and I'm getting that for this as well. You know, you guys could meet in a very serendipitous way. But yeah, once again, I'm getting that you feel like any way of meeting this person is serendipity, because you can't believe that there's sort of someone out there that's just your absolute counterpart, your bestest friend, you know, the yin to your yang. This is someone who is your perfect complement. I'm called also, this couple kind of looks pretty different. The guy on the right seems, he's pretty tan. The girl on the left is pretty pale. So they do seem a little, you know, different, physically speaking. And so you and your future spouse, I mean, you guys may actually look a little bit like opposites, but I think that mostly you guys just are, you know, energetically like the perfect complement to the other. But alright, let's get some cards about pile 3's past relationships, you know, to get a better idea of why you choose your future spouse. We're gonna, look at your past relationships, what happened there, what left you a little disappointed, what left you wanting a little something different for when you choose your future spouse. But let's see, pile 3's past relationships. Oop. Alright, so the card that came out was strength. So let's get some more cards, because that's a little vague. But so I'm getting that you guys, I think that you guys just have, in general, had obstacles to overcome. Strength, another S word, so I think that it really does also have to do with the snakes that you encounter. For secret seances, that card is really speaking to me, honestly, about not just the spiritual connection between you and your future spouse, but this just spiritual nature of you as a person. It's telling me that I think that you guys, spirituality may be very central to your life, but I think that also you are very much impacted by spiritual things, by spiritual energies. And so I think that you guys may be very sensitive to bad energies sent to you, or bad energies around you. I think that you guys probably have encountered a lot of bad seeds, maybe. Especially like in all relationships, but probably especially in romantic relationships. I think that maybe you guys have encountered people who are very selfish, very sort of, they're giving me strict. I want to say people who were very rigid in what they were willing to put into a relationship and what they wanted out of a relationship. I feel like you were just, you had a lot of very harsh energies around you, I feel like. We have Temperance. Yeah, you had a lot of very harsh energies around you, and I feel like to balance that out, you sort of had to become a very soft version of yourself. You really had to hide beneath many layers of your skin. You didn't really want to upset a lot of people. You didn't want to ruffle feathers. You didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but also you really just you didn't want to jeopardize your relationships. There is sort of a strength with how much she's clinging on to this line. It's giving me a little bit of like desperation, lack mindset. I feel like you may have been really worried that if you ended things in a connection, then it would be really difficult for you to find someone else, or maybe you thought you would never find someone else, or maybe that's not anything that you directly thought, but just maybe it was something you've realized through your life is just sort of like an implicit fear that's unspoken but sort of drives your actions. And I think that maybe before in the past you've been in relationships with people who maybe they wanted different things than you, maybe they just conducted themselves in a different way than you, or in a way that you disagreed with, but maybe they were very strong and opinionated and assertive in the way that they did things, and so you wouldn't really want to doubt them, you wouldn't want to verbalize anything, you wouldn't want to step on their toes, and so you were just quiet and you bit your tongue and you tried to act like it would work, and you made yourself smaller to accommodate for their big ego. But I think that they, I think ultimately, in a lot of ways, I think you were probably forced to step away from some situations. Yeah. But it may have been really hard for you sometimes to step away from things. You may have found that you let situationships or relationships, toxic relationships, linger a little longer than you feel you should have. But I mean, again, there were like toxic binds to these relationships. So it was very hard for you to get yourself out of them. You also have the Two of Lattes, the Two of Cups. It says, you never forget the feeling, do you? Unmistakable, magnetic, adrenaline, dopamine, oxytocin, unexpected overtow. The familiar, magical, biological cocktail. This is the start of something real, intoxicating, isn't it? So this is about the excitement of a burgeoning new emotional connection. And I think that is what kept you tied to your relationships in the past. I think that regardless of how harsh someone's words were, I think that you saw them for the emotional being that they were, you know? Maybe someone you were in a relationship with, maybe they get very personally mean when they feel spited or slighted, or when they feel like, you know, something's going wrong in the relationship. Maybe that's just a defense mechanism of theirs, and they start making personal attacks. And, you know, I feel like for so long you probably bit your tongue and took it, and, you know, they always apologize at the end of the fight, so you were like, okay, I mean, they know what they're doing is wrong, and you could see how sorry they were, and you could see that they're just sort of like a victim of their circumstances. And I feel like you can't help but be compassionate and sympathetic towards them. And you just, you know, even in the roughest of times, you just sort of revert back to your emotional state, and you extend that cup to them, and you sort of forgive them, or you maybe not forgive them, but you move past it. You allow the relationship to continue. You allow them to continue to be in your life. You give them chance after chance, and then I feel like, you know, these cards aren't really giving me how any of it ends, but I feel like maybe a lot of times you had to choose to step away. But yeah, I'm getting just a lot of indeterminate endings. I'm getting just a lot of maybe endings that consisted of maybe ghosting, just sort of ambiguous endings that maybe took a while to, you know, actually realize it's an ending, you know. Maybe if this is someone you were actually in a relationship with, maybe it's just someone you sort of backed away from slowly enough over time. You got used to the idea of breaking up with them enough over time that eventually after a couple months, someone broke the ice and you guys started talking about how just your relationship was functionally over, and so you might as well break up. It's giving me that sort of energy. I feel like, this strength is sort of your perseverance and your persistence in these relationships, despite how tumultuous they may be and how maybe toxic they are, and maybe just in general how much you realize in retrospect that you shouldn't have been in them for that long. But that's neither here nor there, because what's in the past is in the past, and maybe this is meant to come to some of you right now, because maybe some of you right now are in a connection and you come to these readings trying to get a feel for if this person you're with is going to be your future spouse. And if you feel anything, if you listen to this reading or a reading and you resonate with it deeply, or it gets you excited about your future spouse, but then you feel like, well, I don't know if that's the person in front of me, but the person that you're hearing about gets you excited, I think that you're called to reflect on whether or not the person you're currently with is worth potentially never meeting the person that could get you that excited, So I think that that's just a separate message maybe for a couple of you if you needed to hear it. Maybe some of you guys are in stagnant connections right now, or just connections with people that make you doubt a lot, and that just basically elicit anxiety sooner than excitement. You're being called to probably reflect on whether or not that's the energy of the connection you think you'll have with your future spouse. And if not, don't be afraid to walk away. All right, let's look at soon after you meet them, soon after you meet your future spouse. All right, so soon after you meet your future spouse, why do you choose them? Why do you choose to continue to pursue something? Why? Pile 3. Why does pile 3, after they meet this person, after they meet their future spouse? Ooh, we have the 3 of Swords reversed. It did come out reversed, but I don't take reversals, but I just read blocked energies. But I mean, the 3 of Swords, when it comes out reversed or in a blocked way, it tells me about sort of personal personal insecurities. And so I feel like why you choose this person is because they don't make you feel smaller than you are. They don't make you feel like you have to shrink. But I think that you sort of come into this, I don't think you come into union with this person this way, but I think that you it could be that you're fresh out of some sort of heartbreak or heartache, or maybe you just came out of a period of, remembering a connection you had in the past and remembering how it went downhill, and you're feeling a little solemn that you're single. But it just feels like when you soon after or soon before you meet this person, or maybe in the time period when you're in the process of meeting this person, you're a little bit in your bag, in your emotional bag. You're a little bit emotional, and you're just sort of thinking back wistfully on past connections, and you're sort of pitying yourself a little bit, I feel like. And you're pitying yourself. You're pitying yourself that, you were in connections with such brutal people, and that you also felt tied to these connections, I feel like it is, you were, I'm struggling to get out my words. I feel like this may be the energy when you guys, first have a conversation with your future spouse. I feel like specifically your future spouse could have a hard time verbalizing their words or their thoughts, or putting words to their thoughts. But I think that, the energy that you're in when you meet your future spouse, I believe, is you're a little bit wistfully reminiscing on these past connections and how they sort of effed you over. They weren't very good for you, they weren't very nice for you, and they were toxic. And I think that you're just sort of going through a little period of hyper awareness of what went wrong in these past connections, specifically in romance or romantic connections. And so I think that when you meet this person, sort of that, the fact that what went wrong is like so in the back of your mind consciously, because like that's just sort of the energy you're in. I think that when you meet this person, you're gonna sort of realize it's going to become very obvious to you very quickly that this person is someone different, that this person isn't someone who's going to make you shrink. This is going to be someone who's going to see your light and try to bolster it even more. This is going to be someone who's going to see your success as their success, and they're going to want to make you the center of, you know, your relationship, because this is, once again, you guys will have like a best friend dynamic. And so this is giving me the vibe of someone who's like, okay, not to say this is your dynamic, but this is giving me the vibe of like the two best friends, the trope of the two best friends. One is really smart, maybe one's not so smart, and then the one who's not so smart, like every time the really smart one achieves anything, the one who's not so smart is just like bragging about it as if it's like themselves or their own kid. You know, like I feel like in some like old sitcoms, old TV shows, there are like those pair of buddies who is just like, you know, one is really impressive, the other one is less impressive, and the one who's less impressive themselves is like acts as so like as proud of the impressive person as if it's like themselves. It's very wholesome. But so yeah, I think that they're going to also be very soothing to any sort of insecurities that you have. The fact that this Three of Swords cards is right beneath the snakeskins card tells me that I think that they're going to be instrumental in helping you shed your skin, specifically shed your skin of your past insecurities from these relationships. I think that maybe when you come into union with this person, you are naturally going to try and take a smaller role in the connection, or you're just going to try and be more in the background, or you're going to try to just sort of relent to whatever this person wants, or cater to their needs. That's a better phrase. And I think it's just sort of the residual energy from your past connections of feeling like you need to be the one to give and to compromise so that, you know, you're not left out in the cold. But I feel like this person is gonna, you know, they're gonna take the swords out of you and they're gonna pat you up and they're gonna say, okay, you don't need to do that. You don't need to sacrifice everything just for my happiness. Like, I'll be fine. I'll deal. I'll cope. And then we also have the Three of Cups. So I think that you guys, 2 threes in a row, that's beautiful. 333 could be a synchronicity for you, especially when you guys like are gonna meet this person. But I think that you guys are gonna have a lot of fun together. I think that you guys, your friends are going to be their friends are going to be your friends. You guys could both be very social people, or if that doesn't resonate, I think that you guys are both just someone who really appreciates the true friends that you have in your life. You guys are someone who appreciates having a good time with people you care about. And so this person is going to become someone that you care about, and they're also going to be someone that you can do all of your favorite things with, and that you're going to do all of your favorite things with, but also someone that you can trust, because these are 2-3 cards, but neither of them are giving me the vibe of any sort of third party or any sort of heartbreak that they have on you or that you may have on them. You guys are going to have a very fair relationship. I think that maybe you guys are both coming from relationships that maybe have put you guys through the ringer, and so you guys are really going to be a source of comfort for each other and stability, and you guys are going to ensure that the other sort of feels safe to feel their emotions and voice their concerns and tell the truth in the connection, whatever that truth may be, even if it's something that they think the other person may not like. And I think that you really admire that about them, because they sort of very much help foster that energy in your connection. We also have the 9 of Swords, and we have the 10 of Wands that came out. So this is interesting. 10 and then 9, they're in different suits though, so it's telling me that I think that this connection is going to get off the ground very quickly, but it may be a little bit till you guys meet them. Not so long, but maybe like a year or so. Take what resonates, but you know, if you were hoping that it would be like in the next couple months or a few months, I think that it would be more like a year. If you're thinking that it would be in the next like 2 years, I think it would be more like 3 or 4 years. So basically, I feel like this is going to be just a little bit longer than how far away you'll expect it to be, meeting your future spouse. But regardless, I feel like the process of coming into union with this person will be very quick. It will be very quick, but you guys, once again, you guys both sort of have a lot of wounds to heal, because these aren't the most joyous of cards for why you sort of decide on them soon after meeting. And I think that that's only because soon after meeting them, you're still sort of in this residual energy, you know? You're still sort of a little bit beaten up by the people around you, you know? It felt a little bit like you were suffocated by strong personalities that also probably had different viewpoints and different perspectives in a lot of the time than you did. And so it really took a little while for you to sort of unravel yourself from those energies. And this person was instrumental in helping that happen. This person, I think, I said you come into union quickly with this person, but I think that you guys become best friends with this person quickly. I think it may also take just a hot second for you guys to actually add the romance to this connection. And I think that's only because of the energy that you're in. I think that, you know, once again, take what resonates. But I think that you are going to want some time to sort of completely heal your emotional inner state. I think this person very much could be someone like your twin flame, but basically your future spouse is someone who, when you meet them, you're going to be sort of very much confronted with the beauty of them as a person, and then the harsh reality of the people that you were with in the past. And so that's going to just bring up a whole bunch of emotions. It's going to make you feel, you know, pity for yourself for having gone through it. It's going to make you feel maybe a little angry at yourself for staying with these people, angry at yourself for even getting in a connection with them to begin with, maybe angry at them for being so or angry at these past people for being so mean. But it's just going to bring up a lot of emotions, and I think that you're going to be a little raw when you first meet this person, and so I think that you're going to want to take your time just to sort of get through that. And I think this person is going to help you. They're going to be instrumental in that. They're going to hold your hand along with that. You know, they're going to, you know, and I think that this could really be the vibe of you guys have a friendship, but you guys have the friendship where it's very flirty when you guys have it. And it's the friendship that everyone knows is going to devolve into a relationship, but it just hasn't gotten there yet solely because of you know, no one said it. And so I feel like this is you know, this is really giving me the vibe of when you first come into union with this person, it will be as their best friend, but in a way where it's almost like you guys instantly are married couple status, you know, where you guys are just so deeply in love and deeply loyal and caring for each other, and maybe not so all over each other like a young couple, but you know, just sort of patient and kind and caring and empathetic and compassionate to the other. And I think this person, they're going to be that way for you. I think this person's going to very much, your future spouse will feel like they are your real life guardian angel. I think that they're going to help you so much. This is the person who's going to want to bring you soup when you're sick, or you know, when you're going through this, when you guys meet each other and you know, you guys have a deep talk and you open up about you know, these mean people you were in relationships with in the past, or these just toxic relationships you had in the past. They're going to validate you, and they're going to say, yeah, that must have been very hard, but I'm so proud of where you are. They're going to validate you, and they're also going to nurture and support you and empower you and say, yeah, that was terrible what you've been through, but I can't believe that you're here on the other side and actually able to vocalize about how that was bad. I'm very proud of you. And they're going to just I think that it's just going to bring you guys so close together. And it's going to be just, yeah, you choose them. It's really giving me, I think that, so this portion of the tarot cards were mostly meant to be, you know, after you sort of start to date them a little bit, why you choose to get into a really deeply committed relationship with them. But right now it's giving me the vibe of, you know, this is when you're sort of in the friend state with them, and why you choose to become that deeply committed, you know, person in a relationship with them. I feel You know, when you choose to get in a relationship with them, it's because or when you choose to date them at all, it's because you're also sort of knowing that you're choosing to date them for the long term. It feels like you get to know this person on a deep soul level before you sort of cross that threshold into a romantic relationship with each other. And so how well you get to know this person sort of makes it very easy for you guys to like jump immediately into a deeply committed relationship. All right, so now we're going to get your final cards. Your final tarot cards, that is. And we're going to look at what, after you know this person, why do you continue to choose them? So let's move these guys all up. Boop, boop, boop. So after you meet this person, why do you continue, or why do you choose to come in a deeper, oh my gosh, I can't speak right now. After you meet this person, or why do you choose to stay with them forever? Why does pile 3 choose their future spouse long term? Why does pile 3 choose their future spouse long term? The Lovers. So you guys have the choice to be together and you choose it. You guys have the choice, have the option, and you want it. That's what the Lovers tells me. So why do you choose to be with them? Because you choose, because you love them. But yeah, that really is, I think that your future spouse could be a Gemini. They're giving me that sort of like lighthearted, goofy, airy, giddy energy of a Gemini. They really are. I think that this is someone that you're going to have so much fun with. They're going to, they're going to be your lover, but they're going to be your best friend. And I know I keep saying that, but they really are. I think that you guys could really be the type of person who, I think, yes, sex is probably important to you. Intimacy, that sort of physical intimacy is important to you. But I feel like also, like, you're here for a good time. You're here to have a good time in this world, You want to go out and experience things. And, you want to go to concerts, you want to go to the club, you want to go to the bar. Maybe you guys still identify as introverts, so you don't want to do that all the time. But you do want to experience, the fun parts of life. And this is a partner in crime that can be with you to experience those things. 6 of Wands, you guys feel like you won the jackpot. 6 of Wands is like the victory card, but it also is like a little bit of the homecoming card. But see how he's like alone right here, which is interesting to me. I feel like this person they don't make you feel small. They make you feel like you're, I don't want to say like the only person in the world, because that's a little isolating. I feel they don't put you up on a pedestal so much as to alienate you, but they bolster you so much, but they also bolster everyone else that they're around. I feel like your future spouse is a very jovial person, but they do just sort of like deeply respect and admire and love you in so many ways. I think that you guys could have a very soft presence, or just a very kind-hearted presence. I think that they really just appreciate your down-to-earthness, your genuineness, and how, kind of a person you are. And I think that they themselves are a very kind person, and they love to hype up people. And so I think that they're naturally a hype person for everyone they care about. And then I think for you, they just sort of, you're like the person they care about. You're like the ultimate person that they care about. And so they just hype you up so much. They bolster you so much. They put you on the same pedestal that they put everyone else on. So it doesn't feel like you're worried that they're gonna be inevitably disappointed in you because they think so highly of you. No, it's like they just think so highly of everything and everyone. They have on rose-colored glasses just as like their normal glasses. Like that's just their prescription, rose-colored. That's just what their eyes need and what they have naturally. And so I think that they just see absolutely the best in everyone that they think deserves to have the best seen in them. I feel like this person has a strong sense of justice, so it could be that they feel very passionately about things. So when they feel like someone is good, they're amazing, and when they feel like someone is bad, they're terrible. But I feel like, you know, they think a lot of people and a lot of things are good, and you're one of them. And I think that you just, I don't know if you've been hyped up like this person will hype you up. I think that they're going to make you feel so beautiful and so smart and so wanted and desired by them. And you're going to just be the focal point of their everything, of their life, honestly. You really are. I think they could really enjoy PDA. I mean, if you guys don't like it, probably tell this person, because I think that they're just so proud of you. They're just so excited to be with you. I know that this is about why you choose them, but I feel like a lot of why you choose them is because of how they make you feel and how much they obviously care about you, because I think that was what was missing from these past relationships. It felt like these past relationships, they either were subconsciously jealous of you, or, you know, maybe they felt superior to you or something. It just felt like these people in the past, they didn't completely appreciate you. Even if they did see you for you, it felt like they saw you through a skewed lens, like, or like an insecure lens that made you feel a little like worried or less than, or just insignificant. And I feel like this person, your future spouse, is just, they see you for you and they're so excited about who you are. And you can tell, obviously, by how they treat you. They're just constantly, yeah, they want everyone to know that you guys are dating. Oh my gosh. And then we have the Six of Wands. You guys, I can't, yeah, they feel like you feel like you won the jackpot. They feel like they won the jackpot. These cards, like, this message is getting so intertwined with why they choose you. And it's not even why they choose you, but so much why, you know, how they treat you, what your relationship is like. They treat you like a goddess, you know, regardless of gender, they treat you like a goddess. This card says, hold your chin up high, vindication, the unmistakable warmth of victory. Can you sense their eyes on you? Admiration or jealousy, doesn't matter. You've done it already for yourself, kid. You've done all right for yourself, kid. So jealousy, so this is telling me, yeah, once again, you guys had snakes in your midst. You guys had snakes in the past in your relationships. You guys have snakes as family members, snakes as friends, snakes all around you, snakes as coworkers. And I think that they're people that maybe you still also identify as them being your friends, but they're just still people that can't help but to feel a little bit of jealousy towards you, or just a little bit of spite, or wanting you just, I don't know, it's like you know, like maybe you have a friend who really wishes that they could pull off a certain sense of style and you're able to pull it off, and so that friend is like, you look so cute today, but on the inside, like, they don't even know that they're like actually like a little jealous that they can't pull off that style, and they're like, man, I kind of wish that this person wasn't able to pull off that style. And so it just feels like this other person, like, you guys are just such hype people for each other, and you guys help each other just completely ignore and fend off all of the haters. It's like having this person by your side makes all of the haters or naysayers like non-existent, basically. I feel like, you know, this person, it's, you know, this card said, all eyes are on you, or their eyes are on you. Can you feel it? Admiration, or is it jealousy? And it's admiration, you know, your future spouse is staring at you in admiration, but then I feel like all other people around you, I feel like they do have like a little, even if they do admire you, I feel like a lot of people around you admire you with a tinge of jealousy, you know? You have a sort of quiet strength to you that I feel like a lot of people are aware of and wish that they could tap into themselves, but they're not able to, and so they project a little bit onto you. And I think that this future spouse is just almost like acts as your shield, you know? This is someone who you can trust to have your best interest at all times, because you know that they're gonna, you know, yeah, you're an umbrella term under them, you know? You guys are one and the same, so your victory is their victory. And that's probably why we have the Six of Wands twice, which is also interesting because 2 3s and then 2 6s, and 6 is obviously twice of 3, and so I feel like 333 and 666 could be important in your connection. 333 tells me about just sort of like your union together, and the third sort of energy that it'll create of abundance and spiritual connection and pure love and like joviality with each other and friendship. And then I feel like 666 is talking about the, you know, the real like romance and love and adoration and deep soul bond that is going to like persist and connect you guys through this lifetime and through other lifetimes also, honestly. Oh my gosh, so why you choose them? I mean, this person is, yeah, everything. This person is truly everything that you've wanted. They're going to make you feel the way that you felt you always should have felt in a relationship. They're going to make you feel like a princess, like a queen, like a goddess. Even if you have a masculine energy, they're going to make you feel like something and someone beautiful and deserving of so much love and adoration and admiration. But okay, let's get some final oracle card. A final oracle card for some advice for pile 3. Just to finish off your reading of why pile 3 chooses their future spouse. Why pile 3 chooses their future spouse. Why pile 3 chooses their future spouse. So we have sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. Okay, well we have, and then 2 other cards also came out. Thorns, weave together the crown you deserve. Ooh. And we also have gardens, something lovely will grow from this. Oh, this is beautiful. So it's giving me the energy of, yes, I feel like before you come into union with this person, you're going to be cleansing energies and things out of your life. You have a lot of snakes around you, a lot of people who act as if they love you and care about you, or tell you they love and care about you, but then act as if they want you to change, or don't know who you, or don't understand who you are, or don't validate who you are. They act in a way that wouldn't really suggest that they do actually love and care about you. And so I think that you were in a little bit of a period of solitude probably, or at least in a period of mental reflection, where you did have to paint the sun and back into your sky. You had to sort of clear your mind, meditate a little bit, realize why exactly these people were both people you loved, but also people who made you feel bad. You know, you really had to introspect and reflect on that and think about, you know, oh, well, I guess it was actually maybe the snippy remarks about how, you know, this person kept, you know, making snippy remarks about my weight or my appearance or something, or, you know, my hair or my hygiene or something like that, you know. And you were just in a period of reflection, of understanding, you know, where it is that these people and connections went wrong, why they made you feel that way, and then you sort of beginning to make yourself feel beautiful again, you know? You sort of reconnecting with the people around you. Weave together the crown you deserve. You reconnecting with the people around you that you care about. Reconnecting with things that make you feel beautiful. And then something lovely will grow from this. And then from, you know, it's a crown of thorns, but, you know, it's giving me the energy of, you know, a crown of thorns being placed in the ground and then it being overtaken by weeds and vines and turning into a throne from the ground. And so I think that you are going to take these trials and tribulations and you're going to grow from it. And this person, your future spouse, is going to be instrumental in helping you grow from it. I think that you're going to kickstart it by yourself. You know, just I think that you're going to start to be sort of in your self-hype energy when this person comes around. And then I think that they're going to see you in that self-hype energy and like raise you like 10 bars and hype you up like a million times over and just make you feel even better about yourself. And then you're going to be like, I can't believe that you're real and you make me feel this way. And then you guys are going to come into union and you're going to be like, I can't believe you continue to make me feel this way. And then you guys are just going to seamlessly, organically end up together forever. But alright, pile number 3. I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I hope you liked this reading. I hope it resonated. I really enjoyed recording it. If it did resonate, please like or subscribe. Subscribing helps out my channel a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye!